What's up guys, it's Rothel here. Today's video is going to be the first of 3 videos where I show you 3 of the most insane inventories owned by new Chinese collectors who have only started playing CS in the last few months. These inventories are a perfect example of the effect that new Chinese players have had on the CSGO economy, specifically the high tier collector scene. The first inventory we're going to start off with today is, he hasn't got that much on the first page. He has some basic collector's skins, a StatTrak Factory New USPS Orion, and Org Akihabara. This one actually has a low float, so this is probably around $700 or so. Some other StatTrak Factory New stuff, a Factory New MP7 Whiteout, which is rare as well. It does have a decent float, but not that amazing. A StatTrak Factory New Ocean Foam, 4 crowns on the StatTrak Factory New Desert Eagle Crimson Web, so this is expensive as well. We'll move on to the second page, and you can see it's a StatTrak Factory New Blood in the Water, which is a lot of money too. A Souvenir Factory New FAMAS Sticks. It doesn't look like it has a very good float. No, it's a pretty bad float. StatTrak Factory New M4A4 Desolate Space with 00 float, so that's probably between $175 and $200. StatTrak Minimal Wear Monkey Business. He does have a very low float Chantico's Fire. It's 002. He has another 0008 CZ Xiangliu. I say the price for the Chantico with that low of a float is probably around $500 to $600. He has low float versions of the Tech9 Fuel Injector and the Kill Confirmed as well. But moving on to the really high tier stuff that this guy has, he has a StatTrak Factory New M4A1S Cyrex with 4 iBuyPower Hollows. Now, iBuyPower Hollow stickers as of right now are worth about $5,000 each, and there are 3 StatTrak Factory New Cyrexes with 4 IBP Hollows. I think they're sold recently for around $7,000, but that was before IBP sold for $5,000. So I'd say it's worth somewhere between $7,000 and $8,000. Now, the next skin he has is P250 Gunsmoke with 4 IBP hollows on it as well. I'd estimate the price for this to be about $5,000. It's one of those crazy unique guns that collectors just love. And next up, he has an AK from my second to last video. He has a StatTrak Factory New AK Fire Serpent with 4 iBuyPower hollows. I think this is the lower float one of the two, but either way, this is worth around $18,000. He has a Desert Eagle Blaze with 4 Reason hollows on it, which again, my friend sold him. I think this is probably worth $3,000 around there. He has a StatTrak Factory New AK Vulcan. Doesn't have that good of a float, but still 4 Titan hollows on it. I'd guess the price of this is around $8,000. He also has a 0.12 StatTrak Minimal Wear AK Redline with 4 IBP hollows. The price of these is definitely around $8,000. He has a StatTrak Factory New Stainless with a really low float as well, with 4 Na'Vi hollows on it. I think that this is probably worth around $500. He has a Glock Fade with 4 Reason hollows, which is around, I believe it's $4,000. He has a StatTrak M4A1S Atomic Alloy with 4 Titan hollows on it. I believe he bought this for $3,500, and then he bought this StatTrak Field Tested AWP Asimov for $6,000. Moving on to the next page, he has the world's lowest float #1 pattern on the 5.7 case hardened. I think this is worth around $1,500, but now moving on to some of the bigger boys here, we have the Souvenir Factory New Dragonlord signed by JW. The float isn't that amazing, but just because it's signed by JW, the price of this is around $40,000, maybe even $45,000. He has a field-tested #1 pattern AK case hardened. Does also have a Titan hollow over it. I think this is worth around $2,500. He has a normal Dragonlord, but I don't think the float of this is that special. Yeah, only 0.024. He has a StatTrak Factory New M4A4 HAL with a 009 float. This is one of the mass duped ones. These things are worth, I think, $6,500 now, and very few of them are for sale. It's crazy collector's item. He also has a Souvenir Factory New Knight signed by Pasha Biceps. Actually, I didn't didn't even notice that. He also has a factory new Orb Medusa with not that special of a float, so that's just a normal price. A souvenir minimal wear Dragonlore, signed by Disco Doppelin. The stickers on the scope as well. Has a low float. I think this would sell for around $11,000, maybe $12,000. He also has another StatTrak Factory New Fire Serpent with 4 Na'vi Holos on it. I think it has a low float as well. Yeah, 0.063. I think an estimate for the price of this might be even $5,000. He has some Emerald Web gloves in factory new, and these are really rare too. These are worth about $3,000, and he has some minimal wear gloves here, just so he can use and play with. Now, his Crimson Web collection is also insanely special. Now, the floats are pretty much all really good, but I think the webbing for the most part on some of the knives is really good. Now, the Falchion I think is about $800. The Bowie in factory new with also a low float here, 6.1. I think this is around, might even be $1,500. It doesn't look like it has nice webs. This flip knife, I actually sold him myself, and this is the back side. It has really nice webs on the play side, and I sold it to him for around $750. It's got a decent float, but again, you'll see in a second, the webbing is really nice. His factory new Shadow Daggers, looks like the float is pretty good as well, but you can see the web here. These are worth a substantial amount too. Factory new Huntsman, factory new Bayonet, factory new Butterfly, factory new Crimson Web with a really low float as well. This thing is probably worth between $6,000 and $7,000. An M9 Bayonet Doppler Sapphire, I think these are worth about $1,800. He actually also has a StatTrak 009 Karambit Emerald, and I think this is worth around $6,000 as well. He has a StatTrak Gamma Doppler Emerald Flip Knife, and I love that he has no kills with this. This is just shows how little he cares. It's fantastic. I think this is worth like $1,000. Yeah, the float isn't that special. On the next page here, you can start to see just the extent of stickers this guy has. He has a StatTrak Factory New Karambit Sapphire with a pretty good float, and looks like the corner is really clean as well. I think that this would sell for between $4,000 and probably around $4,000. He has some other random knives that he just plays around with. He has a low float Karambit Crimson Web as well. I mean, 0.060 float is pretty insane. Not a very good web there, and the corner is still kind of messed up, but just the float itself is amazing. He also has an M9 Ruby, which I think these are around $1,600, $1,700. He has 4 Team Dignitas stickers, and each one of these is around $800. He has 4 Reason Holo stickers, each of which is around $2,000. He has 4 iBuyPower Holo stickers. Now, each one of these is around $5,000. And lastly, he has 4 Titan Holos, and each of these is worth between $3,000 to $3,500. Now, in total, I think I added it all up and priced it at about $200,000, but I didn't go completely in depth, and it could even be more than that, maybe even $210,000. And just to put it into perspective, this guy only started collecting in CS I think about 5 months ago, maybe even less than that. So you can really see how much of an impact the Chinese collectors have had on high tier prices. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, I'm more than happy to put out the second and third part of this series. There are 2 other specific Chinese collectors who have got insane inventories that I think a lot of people haven't seen and might want to see. So as I said, if you enjoy it, just leave a comment below, and I guess I'll see you later. Bye. I actually realized after recording this that I hadn't mentioned that I'm still doing a butterfly knife Tiger Tooth giveaway along with 5 M4A4 Hellfire giveaways. The link to that will be in the description below. If you're also interested in seeing more of my content, feel free to follow me on Twitter and follow me on Twitch. I normally do daily live streams, and I'm more than happy to help you with trading your skins. So if you're interested in that stuff, just check out all of the links below.